Fullmetal Alchemist is the one of the best-selling manga of the last decade. It's just an amazing fantasy manga. It's up there as the best-selling, just one of the best ever. Like, it's just amazing. The story is Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric, and it's based on a European setting, like the Industrial Revolution in Europe, like Germany. That's where it's in a fantasy setting, but that's where it's inspired. And the whole story is, the theme is alchemy and equivalent exchange. And there's never been a manga where they use alchemy to the fullest, that it's so inbred into the world. So the story is these two brothers, Al and Edward, both alchemists, and they try and find the Philosopher's Stone to get their original bodies back. They did something really stupid when they were young, and they completely messed up. Edward lost his limbs, and Al completely lost his body, so his soul is engraved into a suit of armor. And they're very iconic, the characters in it. Not just like the main character of Edward with his red cape and long blonde hair. It's also other characters such as Roy Mustang and Greed, like all these great characters. So they try and find the Philosopher's Stone, and they try and go to town and town. It's a bit episodic at first. They go to town and town and they meet new people, and they go on this little adventure of trying to find the Philosopher's Stone. Basically, they're state alchemists, they're a police alchemist. And they use their alchemical abilities to save people. But deep down, they want to find the Philosopher's Stone. And the first chapter is really interesting. They find this guy who has the ability to save people and stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so you got a stone, and it's all interesting stuff. And when they come into it, the main villains are the homunculi or homunculus. I don't know which one is plural for it, but yeah, these artificial villains, these artificial people, and they all wear black, and they're really evil, and they have these strange powers, and they're all named after the seven sins, like greed, gluttony, lust, and they're brilliant characters, excellent characters in themselves. And they try and thwart our heroes and try and like make life a bit complicated for them, but they serve under this entity or this figure called the Father, who's really mysterious, and we don't know anything about him. But over the course of the manga, we will find out who the Father is, who's the leader of the homunculi, and it's just really, it's really good. It's got, the art style is really nice. It's a bit cutesy and stylish, not too cutesy. There's something stylish about it. Arakawa's art style is it's good for my eyes. It's not too over top, it's not too detailed, it's just simple, and it's just the right balance of detail and simplicity. The narrative of it it's kind of comical. It's really comical. It has the funniest moments I've ever read in a manga. It has some straight out good gags, but also it's a story about brotherhood, and it's got a lot of sadness to it as well, and some tragic stuff. There are tear-jerking moments, like, which will get to you and probably reduce you to tears. And there's going to be a lot of losses. There's going to be a lot of battles, and it's just amazing. It'll hit you in the feels. And not only that, not just the brothers and that sacrifice and what they have to do and trying to achieve all out. That the two Alric brothers, you feel that compassion, you feel that brotherhood towards each other, and they will sacrifice anything to save one another. And you get to feel that in the manga. And it's also the other characters as well, like Mustang and Hawkeye and all these great characters. And you will feel for them as well, and their passions and drives and their revenge. And it's quite a deep story. It's about, I think it's 50 volumes, about 50 volumes, I think, or more than that. No, 70 volumes, I think. But it's a great story. It's not too massive or convoluted. it's a simple story where they try and find the Philosopher's Stone, and then I realise it goes deeper than just trying to find a stone. It's something really sinister going on, and it's the twists and turns, and yeah, it's just great characters, great freaking characters, great story. And to know that when you read the end of it, when it comes to the end, everything's all tight. It was all planned from the beginning how it was going to be done. And yeah, but one of the main interesting things is like Edward sacrificed himself at the start of it. He lost his bodies, and he lost his limbs and body because he did something stupid. He ended up going into the Forbidden Realm, or the Gate, and it kind of tackles that. It's only in the finale do we get to see how it tackles those themes of sacrifice and what is God and all that stuff, and what is good and evil. So yeah, it's just one of the best things. They've done an anime outfit, I think 2 animes, which is a bit more darker. The first anime is more darker and kind of has a completely different plot and story. It's similar with trying to find stone, but very different characterization, very different characters. It's very different from the manga, but in a slightly darker way. And it's good. It's really interesting in itself. It's pretty decent. Also, they ended up doing another manga another anime after it, which was based directly off the manga. They've done 2 anime films as well, which is they've done one based on the sequel to the original anime. And that was okay. It's a finale. I see it as a finale or an ending chapter to the final episode. Like, if you wanted more from that final episode, you got a big more bad another finale. And I thought it was okay and decent, but it was a bit too serious and too dark. But the anime is just really good. Apparently they're doing a live action film as well, and that will be released. And I don't really want to talk about live action films because I like my manga. I like my manga to stay manga. I like my fantasy to stay fantasy. It kind of, when you create awkward stuff, when you create it to live action, it can be very awkward. Look at Dragon Ball Evolution, for crying out loud. Yeah. So it is one of the best manga I've got in my collection. It's one of my favorites, all-time favorite. And I only wish there was more volumes. I only wish there was more adventures. And I think they've done novels and other stories of it. And maybe one day they'll do another anime series. This is one of the best mangas ever made. It's so iconic. These 2 brothers, one of them being a suit of armor. It's just amazing. It's, like I said, the comedy is great. There's a lot of tragedy. There's some tragedy to it. There's a bit of romance and a bit of fan service as well. But it's not too good. But you have your fantasy manga, and this is like legit based on alchemy. Everything's all alchemy. You get to learn about alchemy. It teaches you alchemy a bit similar to that world and how they use it. But it just got me. I liked alchemy, and when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is like legit full on, teaches you a little bit about it, and I'm like, good. But yeah, if you're into your fantasy and you're into a good adventure manga, then this is totally for you. And seriously, you should read it. It's a brilliant story that's gonna tug at your heartstrings, and it's gonna be about friendship, family, and just like pain and suffering, and just trying to strive for a better world and try and strive to go to it. The theme is the equivalent exchange. Like, if you want to get something out of life, you have to put equal amount of effort for it, and you really feel the pain and the suffering of these characters and all the stuff they go through just to live a better life. And it's amazing. One of my favorite characters is Isumi Curtis, like the teacher of Edward and Alphonse Zarek, and she's just a badass. And yeah, even she has a lot of characterization on it. I'm forgetting the word, but yeah, it's just an amazing manga. I highly recommend it. And if you've not watched the anime, if you're not one for reading manga, watch the anime. It's great. They've done 2 animes, but yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this review, please leave a like. And yeah, just I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara.